Hello, everyone. This is Paco, and today we are doing something different, at least something different for me. I am reacting to my own walking tour that I took along the Malecon back on the 13th of March. I remember doing this walking tour. I had just purchased a new gimbal and I was really excited about it. And then, for whatever reason, I forgot to do something with it. I do remember that when I shot it, there were a lot of instances of music going on in the background that would interfere with my ability to keep the original sound. So I figured I'm going to react to it and speak over the music, hoping that this will allow me to upload the video without any major problems. So I'm going to go through the whole video, and to be honest with you, I'll be reacting to it like I had just shot it, because I had not really opened the file since the 13th of last month. So I started obviously at the Lázaro Cárdenas Park, and I picked the time. I forget what I was doing in the neighborhood, but I knew that sunset was happening, and I wanted to catch that transition between sunset and the whole Malecon turning dark. So as you can see, in this part of the video, it's still very bright out there, although the sun was either about to set or had just set, and we'll check this out in a second. I remember coming to this spot and wanting to turn left just to see where the sun was at. And yes, I do believe the sun had already set.
That would be me.
Oh, yeah.
You're one of my big fans? Oh, yes, I am. Can I ask you questions?
Yeah.
So, what's your name?
Twyla,
And where are you from?
Las Vegas,
And what are you doing here?
having fun.
Excellent. And you are?
I'm Lita.
Hi, Lita.
Hi.
Are you having a good time?
I am.
Excellent.
I'm her sister.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate.
I watch your show every day.
Oh, stop it. Can I give you a hug?
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Well, you'll be on the show soon enough. Have a lovely night. Bye bye. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care.
I had forgotten about that little encounter. Oh my God, look at the
It's a
sky.
nice sunset.
Yes, it is a nice sunset. Anyhow, it is so humbling when I'm walking down the street and people recognize me. Sometimes it's a little challenging because I was on a mission. I didn't mean to stop, but hey, I'm always happy to talk to and connect with anybody that recognizes me out and about. It really feels good. But I just love the effect that our sunset has on so many people. Any day when there's a good sunset, you can find people just staring at the sky and the ocean in the direction of the sunset. And it really is a rite that never gets old here in Puerto Vallarta. Oh, that's right. I remember, I have no idea who this lady was, but she was so concerned about capturing the sunset. I just had to be a little sneaky, I know, but I couldn't help myself. Ooh, legs. I will say the iPhone camera is extremely efficient and generous with the amount of light that comes into the scene. You can see all the lamps are already on. In reality, out in the real world, it was already darker than it looks here, but you know, technology is amazing, and nowadays the cameras built into the smartphones are just amazing. Oh my God, time to say something because there's music and we don't want to get into trouble with copyright. And this might be a good time to tell you that this video is 26 minutes and 42 seconds long. So it'll be here for a little while. We're going to be walking all the way to the Hotel Rosita. And here we are on the fairly new steps of the Rio Cuale pedestrian bridge. I don't think I had walked on this bridge since they finished upgrading the pavement. And of course, the pavement has been completed and it is very, very walker friendly. The previous pavement, as you can see, every now and then, I'll point it out next time I see a little spot of the old floor. It had, it had eroded just from regular use. A quick look at Oscar's. Oscar's always looks beautiful. For those of you that were here a while back, do you remember when this did not even exist and getting into the island from this angle was not possible? The only way you could get in and out of the island would have been to walk all the way to Ignacio Vallarta and take the stairs there. So I remember when this bridge was built. Don't remember the exact date, but it was definitely game-changing for Puerto Vallarta. And in those early years after this bridge was inaugurated, coming up on the left-hand side, there is a space where a couple of gigantic sculptures made out of canvas used to exist, and they were reminiscent of sailboat sails, and they were beautiful. They were white, but of course they were not maintained, and soon enough they were removed, which is unfortunate. Here is what that space looks like. I remember a few months ago there was a proposal. Here's the remnant of one of the posts that used to hold the sails. I remember just a few months ago there was a proposal submitted to City Hall of turning that space into a skateboard park where skateboarders could do all their stunts and whatnot. And honestly, I don't know whatever happened to that proposal. That was in the previous administration. But look at what's coming. All the lights are on, and there's going to be food stands and artisanal stands. This is a fun part of the Malecon to walk. Yes, that lady had a chicken on her head. I remember where those were being sold in Guadalajara everywhere. Shout out to our friends from Licks Ice Cream. There is the Licks Ice Cream shop right on the Malecon. And then there's all these vendors. I don't know how they get there. I don't know if they're legal or not legal, if they're sanctioned or not sanctioned. But it's visually attractive, and it adds a lot of appeal to walking down the Malecon on this stretch. There's a really nice lady that does silkscreen printed t-shirts. And I know this because I was gifted one a while back by my dear friend Carmen Porras. And I know of other friends that have them, but I didn't see her tonight. Or rather, on this night when I went walking. There's an empty spot for a new sculpture there. On the left side, we just passed it. That's where the sculpture for Lorena Ochoa, the Mexican golf player, used to be located. And I think that is where, I forget her name, but she's a late sculptor. I think I know that The Fisherman by Gloria Ellis, the late Gloria Ellis sculptor, has a sculpture that is supposed to go into that spot. It has been announced, but we don't know when that will happen. So we've seen all the tchotchke vendors on the right-hand side. Coming up on the left-hand side, of course, are all the food vendors. And there's all kinds of Mexican options here. My heart grows soft when I reach the corn on the cup vendor. And I do remember I took some close-up shots of the booth. There's artisanal ice cream and churros and crepes. Oh, check out the guy that is flipping his rag. And I say that because when he stopped doing him, I got close to him and I sort of hinted, hey, do it again. But he must have been like, what the fuck? Because I kept wiggling my finger and he never followed through. His loss. More crepes. And, oh my God, here's the corn. And it's like, I cannot even get in there. There you go. So this is like corn that has been removed from the cob and has been seasoned, and you get it in little plastic cups, and it's just absolutely yummy. We just passed the aguas frescas, and I'm getting hungry just looking at this. And it's definitely darker out. As you can see, the sky is definitely starting to look like nighttime. And that sounds like live guitar music, so I'm not going to worry about copyright. Copyright problems, in case you're wondering, and this is what makes these walking tours very challenging sometimes. It's like if we go past a store that is playing music that is radio music or commercial music, and it ends up in your video, even if it's just background music, YouTube can penalize you. So it becomes a challenge when the music is popular music. And here we are, of course, approaching the Los Arcos Amphitheater. Something else that drove me to recording this walk when it did is that you may also recall that just a few weeks ago, the municipal government had announced a new lighting system along the Malecon. Yes, that sailboat was slowly gliding as if I was following him or it was following me. So I remember seeing that. Anyhow, the new lighting system was announced, making nighttime walking of the Malecon a lot more appealing than it used to be. And I was happy to see the lights in action. As you can see, They're everywhere. And I'm particularly happy that they are not white. They are warm lights. I don't know if you appreciate the difference between in the very, very white LED lights and the ones that they sell, and they call them soft or yeah, I think they call them soft. They're just not clinical hospital white. That's what I'm trying to say. Looking down at the steps at the Malecon, I can see that there's still some work left to do there. Although I will also say that between the date in which I recorded this video and now, there's been improvements in terms of the Malecon being addressed and being fixed and whatnot. You will see in a little while some of the work being done. And of course, when one gets close to the Puerto Vallarta letters, the best thing to do is to get out of the way and allow our tourist friends enough room to take their selfies and their photographs. This is always fun to watch. And there they are. Recently improved, I might say, by Marcela Lepe, the daughter of Manuel Lepe, who is the famous painter here in Puerto Vallarta, whose naif style has been recognized worldwide. This is also a nice time to walk the Malecon, even in the middle of the summer, because at least at night it is not quite, there goes that sailboat, at least at night it is not quite as hot as it is during the daytime. Feel free to like this video, by the way, as long as we're watching this together. If this you like, if this inspires you, I have a bunch of walking tours in a YouTube playlist, and I will put a little, I will learn how to put a little thingy up here so that you can find the YouTube playlist where I feature all my walking tours. Some of them are narrated, some of them are just captioned with subtitles. And again, today is the first time that I decided to react to one of my own videos. But it looks beautiful, and it's so inviting when the lights are on. Look at that sunset. Ah. And if you notice all those inscriptions on the ground, those are Huichol motifs. And taking the walking tour of the sculptures along the Malecon with Simpson is, oh God, what is his first name? I'm terrible with names when I'm in the middle of recording, but there is a walking tour. Gary Thompson, who owns Galeria Pacifico, and Kevin Simpson co-lead this walking tour explaining the different sculptures that are along the Malecon. And of course, Kevin Simpson is a Huichol connoisseur. He's an expert, so he will explain the meaning of all these symbols that were encrusted on the pavement when the Malecon was expanded a few years ago. I remember seeing a new restaurant. I wonder if I stopped to take a closer look. I don't remember. But there was a restaurant that was new to me coming up on the corner right here on the right-hand side. I am almost certain that I turned my camera that way. There you go. Yeah, it's called Oyster Grill. And it looked totally inviting, of course. I was not looking for a place to eat. But I always like to mention things that are new and change whenever I spot them. For all I know, I must admit, the restaurant could have been there forever, but why do I know? There's the pole used by the Papantla Flyers, and in fact, they're flying. Yep. I almost saw that in the background. And here I showed one of the areas where they are replacing the seating parts of the Malecon, and these are the new pieces that they are installing. Apparently, some of those just went over in one of those instances where the ocean got a little ugly, and they are being replaced with new ones. As you can see, they are all over the place, and I am sure that by now, just a few weeks later, they must have been positioned where they belong, or at least I hope they have. And there's that sailboat still like catching up with me. I love it. More and more people out and about, and it's always nice to see so many people out there. And yes, I am speaking over the music because I hope that YouTube is not going to sanction this video, because you can hear the music coming out of the nightclubs. Of course, there's a ton of them on the Malecon, but I imagine you already know that. And for those of you that you don't, huge shout out if you're planning on visiting Puerto Vallarta sometime in the near future. This is our boardwalk. It's a beautiful, beautiful attraction to enjoy day and night. Unless it's the middle of the summer and it's really hot out there and you're schwitzing, maybe not so much. And here we go. It looks like I'm avoiding all these trees. Well, in a way I am. I'm trying to let people be and not get in anybody's way, particularly those that are taking photos of themselves. Hello, sailboat. And it's definitely nighttime now. You can see the skyline over there on the left side. Mwah! And of course, on the other side of these planters, as I'm crossing over, this used to be a street. There was a time in which the Malecon was not pedestrian friendly. This used to be a street. Some people love the change. Some people still continue to complain about the change. I say it is what it is. And as long as we're walking down here, a big shout out to anything that is green that was put there by the Vallarta Garden Club. I know that at the beginning of the pedestrian Malecon, not the beginning of the walk, but when the Malecon became pedestrian, I understand that the Vallarta Garden Club, which is a nonprofit volunteer organization that landscapes Vallarta, was involved in beautifying the Malecon. And we are getting close to the end of my walk. You can see the Hotel Rosita at the end. So I'm going to sign off here, but not without thanking you for watching, thanking you for your support, thanking you for sharing. And I'll see you again soon.